Welcome in, my Battlefield buddies. And yeah, I just got a short little video today. It's just basically to go over some feedback in the beta. I'm a big vehicle guy. I've played on tanks forever. I played on jets forever. I played on helicopters, all the attack boats during Battlefield 4. Loved them all, love everything. Where my bread and butter is tanks. I'm a tanker. I'm the person shooting jets out of the sky like it's nobody's business. But on the flip side, we got at Silk OCE. That's SILKOCE. If you want to go on Twitter, find this little post. It's August the 28th, 2025 today. This dude is one of the masters of the jets. As good as I am in a tank, he's as good in a jet. So I trust implicitly his feedback on the beta. I didn't do a ton of flying in it, but I did, as much as I could while I was trying to figure out how I fit in both infantry-wise and otherwise in my tanks. And he was doing just as much work in jets and helicopters. Now, he's gotten some good voices around the community, other people who are pretty well known for what they do in their respective vehicles, and this is just some feedback trying to guide DICE in the right direction, essentially. This is not just saying, hey, buff everything across the board. It's real constructive criticism, both, advocating for buffs and nerfs in the respective places they're needed. I'm just going to read through a couple things they're saying just so you get the vibe for them. If you've never heard of them before, you'll understand from these notes that this is someone who basically DICE should be listening to. So we got jets. The radar and turn rates need major buff for real dogfights. This is something I heard from all my jet friends. Basically, the jets can't turn. Neither could the tanks, by the way. And then attack jets are too strong versus air, and they should focus more on the ground. I'm just going to say he's correct. I don't know about that, but he's correct on that, sure. And then we got stingers and flares. Balance is broken. The anti-air feels oppressive. I agree, the anti-air felt very oppressive. I know part of that was that engineers could have a double rocket. They could have the regular RPG and an Igla, which has been confirmed and was confirmed before the beta even started that that's not going to be in the game. So that'll help tone down some of the AA oppression, which honestly is fair because I know I spawned in a jet a few times during the beta, and I was literally locked on by 3 or 4 people the second I spawned in the air, which just not a good gaming experience. It's not a good experience for the jet pilots, as well as you only get one flare, and from what I remember, the time between getting a second flare and the first flare is a really long time, and there just wasn't enough airspace to get out of the area if there was even 2 people with Iglas. Helicopters, the mobility and the yaw are too sluggish, and they kill the agility. I completely agree with this. It felt like piloting a giant boat. Same with the tanks. Pilot gunner rolls are backwards, needs BF4 style loadouts. I'm not sure what he means by that, but I'm going to just generally agree because I feel like Battlefield 4 had the loadouts correctly for the pilot and the gunner roles. Stinger damage, duration, balance makes flying near impossible. Again, I kind of touched on that already, so agree there. Tanks and armor. The turret rotation too slow hurts close quarter combat survivability. Well, I see what they're saying. I think this comes from a place of misunderstanding for tanks. I think that the turret rotation was fine. The main problem is that the tank's acceleration is sluggish, as well as just in general, it was really sluggish. The tank's top speed, when you got it up to a top speed, felt just like Battlefield 4. The problem is the physical tank couldn't turn. The turn rate's too small, as well as going from the top speed and braking, the braking would take forever. It feels like you hit the brake, you're waiting. Oh, the tank decided to stop. Okay, that's good. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm fully stopped now and I need to get going. Hey, I hit the gas. Okay, I'm waiting. Oh, hey, look, the tank's starting to go. And that's just not a good experience. For people who know how tanks operate, they can basically go from 0 to top speed almost instantaneously. And from top speed to 0 almost instantaneously. I'm going to just vaguely say instantaneously because I don't want to go Google a bunch of numbers about real-life tanks. You can do that if you want, if that's your flavor of, what you want to do with your day. But it's not what I want to do. But you can look at videos of real tanks and you can see real tanks can move. They can travel. That's the point of a tank, is that they can move over rocky, rough terrain with some reasonable agility and speed still. That's what makes them scary. And tanks should be scary. Because they're tanks. Same with jets and helicopters and just general vehicles. They also got just some general here. We got resupply system, kill placing. The regen is preferred. I agree. I think regen is preferred. I think it just simplifies the game for people who don't understand what's going on, more complicated people. It's going to lower the skill ceiling a little bit, but at the same time, it's going to make the game infinitely more fun. And I think fun should always take precedence within reason over everything else. I think a game should be fun. I don't think that you should bastardize a game to add just quote-unquote fun things. But when you have a clearly working system that people have loved for decades, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. Let me see. Vehicles should follow BF4's skill equals effectiveness model. 100% agree that's what I'm advocating for. Tanks operated the way that I'm advocating for in Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2. And honestly, even in Battlefield 5, though Battlefield 1 and 5 were a little different because they're period pieces that are based when technology was very, very underdeveloped compared to modern day stuff. We also got lighting and visibility issues, making enemies too hard to spot. I think that's less of a vehicle thing and more of just an overall Battlefield 6 thing. But yeah, so that's it. I just want to keep the video nice and short. They got a longer document. I'm not going to go through it. It's got people with names, big names, small names, everything. Really good, very specific feedback. Everything that I thumbed through looked great. It all looked like good feedback. Again, the only thing I really disagree with is the turret rotation was too slow. I feel like the turret rotation was totally fine. It was at the exact same levels it was in Battlefield 4 and every other Battlefield game before then. What was different was because the tank bottom part, let's call it the bottom, the engine, was so slow. In the past, in Battlefield 4 and other games, you'd have to turn the bottom to kind of reorient your turret even quicker. And that's part of the skill gap that was being a tanker, is once you learn that, you use the bottom and the top part of your turret to rotate properly and effectively depending on your needs. The problem is with the bottom part being so sluggish and slow, you're not able to do that at all. And you're not able to effectively gauge how close people are or how far they are and how much time you need to speed up because, again, you hit the gas or you hit the brake and it feels like it takes a whole minute before your input registers. So I just wanted to go over that. This is some big important stuff. Hopefully the devs will get their eyes in front of it. And yeah, just have a good day, guys. Yeah, hit a like button. Hit that like button. Do it. Do it. Do it.